PK52, the Saturday morning meeting. Well, I've got a bunch of information from you guys asking me questions about, Casey, when is this market going to open up? Well, let's talk about what's happened this week, and let's talk about what our future looks like. First of all, this week, we got the inflation report back. No political party intended right here, but it was 7.5%, which is the highest level since 1984. So as the cost of money and the cost of goods continue to go up, what the Fed was going to have to do eventually is going to start having to raise the interest rates. So if you're buying a commodity, if you're buying a car, if you're buying a home, and the interest rates move a point, a couple of points, or 3 points, then the amount of money you have to spend for the exact same thing right now versus in the future when the rates go up is going to be much higher. The average price of used cars, so they've got a used car run. This is Washington Examiner. So you can go to any paper or any news outlet right now, and this is a trending story. So the cost of used cars of $28,000 to $31,000 on average. And if you go $28,000, that includes every used car sold out there. I mean, that would even be used cars that are sold at buy here, pay here lots. But when you go to a dealership and you start buying from an average dealer, the average price of a used car is now $31,000. So the difference between a rate of 3% versus 5%, you can do the numbers. It's very intense, and it causes a lot of problems in the household because now you're having to manage your budget. Food is more, utilities are more, gasoline prices are higher, commodities are higher, cars are higher, and you know where I'm going with this, right? So right now, I can't believe I'm going to say this. If you're going to buy a current generation pre-owned or certified car or a new car, do it right now. And I've warned a bunch of my friends. I go, this is going to be over, but it's not going to be over. And let me tell you why. People are asking me, Casey, when are we going to have more cars available for sale? And I'm speaking for Toyota. And last week I told you we are currently the number one volume manufacturer. We're making more and selling more than any other manufacturer. We're number one, Ford's number two, Chevrolet's number three. So we're building everything we can build. If there's a chip shortage, it continues. If there's a transportation shortage, currently right now, we've got truckers out there and the commerce between Detroit and Canada are shut down. Ford has a lot of plants just over the border in Canada. Ford has had to shut down one of the plants right now. So now the supply of new cars is becoming even tighter. Every new car that Toyota is going to make in the year 2022 is already sold. I'm not saying you already have a customer, they've already put money down on it, but it's already sold. There is no cars going to be left over from Toyota. Everything we manufacture, everything we ship to you is going to be sold. You don't even have to try. If you have a car, it's sold. So the only way to make money and going forward and to take care of your client base right now are 1, 2, and 3-year-old certified vehicles. And you can certify to 6 years, but then that 4 to 8-year-old cars, 8-year-old, 10-year-old Toyotas, gang, I've got a 2013 FJ Cruiser in my driveway, and my wife drives a 2008 V6 hybrid Highlander. There is nothing wrong with either one of those vehicles. Those vehicles are both over 100,000 miles, and they're phenomenal. So there are some options out there, but this right here tells you what our future is. In 2022, it's not that we're not going to sell more cars. I think Toyota's probably going to sell somewhere between 1.8 and 2 million cars this year. That would be my guess. And Toyota is usually about that number, 1.8 to 2.2. So we're going to get really close to our average amount of build and sell at the end of this year. But 2.5 years ago, when you went to a Toyota dealership, there were multiple cars in stock. You would have 25 or 30 Corollas, matching colors, matching trim levels. The average turn rate for most dealerships was somewhere between 30 and 47 days. That means when the truck delivered a car to Toyota and they put it on the ground for sale, the average car would take over a month to actually retail to a customer. We've got regions in the United States for Toyota right now. I can't speak for the other brands. That we have regions that are selling their new car inventory in a 2-day turn. For you guys that don't understand what I'm saying, that means the truck delivers the vehicle, it goes on the lot, it is gone within 2 days. So it's not that we don't have inventory. It's not that we don't have cars to sell. It's that we don't have a giant stockpile of cars sitting out on the asphalt looking like a full lot. I don't know why some manufacturers have cars. I guess they're not as good as salespeople as the Toyota salespeople. I don't know what to tell you, but they're selling less cars than we're selling. And if they have a lot full of cars, that means they're just not selling the cars. Maybe they're asking a tremendous price over the actual value of the car. I don't know. All I know is don't worry about your new cars this year. Every new car that comes to your dealership is sold. Source pre-owned cars. Find your customers that are in your service drive. There are people out there right now, gang, that are still working from home. I'm one of them. I'm in my studio right now. I'm not traveling anymore. My wife would really love for me to go on the road for a couple of weeks. I know that. I know she doesn't say that, but I know that's a fact because we've never been around each other this long before. But I'm in my studio and I'm working out of my home. I don't need those two cars. For 6 months, one of my sons drove my wife's car because we didn't need it. There are multiple people in the United States right now that have cars that they're really not using. Start looking at your service drive and start looking at 2- and 3-year-old cars now, because during this COVID time, you got cars coming in there that people aren't even putting 10,000 miles a year on. And so these cars may not be necessary, and they're going to maximize. They'll get more out of the car. Look at a Tacoma. I'm working on a current lease program for TCUV right now. Some of you know that. And the comparison I did between a new Tacoma lease and a 3-year-old certified Tacoma lease, I raised the price of the 3-year-old Tacoma higher than the new because the certified Tacomas are bringing more money than the actual new Tacomas that we can't get. So it's crazy the value of a used car right now. So spend your time and energy sourcing and resourcing on the used car side because those are the cars out there. We have 280 million registered cars on the road right now, 280 million. And none of those cars are new cars because as soon as they drive those cars from the dealership, that's a pre-owned car. So all 280 million of those cars are pre-owned. Pre-owned cars through the year 2022 will be the predominant way to be able to take care of your customers. And I got to be honest with you, we've got some great new product coming. We've got some great new product on the ground. But a 3-year-old Camry is a phenomenal car. A 2- or 3-year-old Highlander could be the best car they'll ever own in their entire life. The value of our pre-owned product right now is unbelievable. So make sure you look at the entire picture, the opportunity for your dealership, the opportunity for you, and the opportunity for your friends and families and your customers. PK52, the Saturday Morning Meeting.